here, and welcome back to Call Me Cat Creations. So since there's still a little bit of summer left, I decided to make a DIY swimsuit cover-up tutorial. It's going to be a really easy cover-up to make, and I just think it's so pretty and flowy, and it would look great in so many different colors or patterns. You can make it full length, like maxi length, like I did, or you can make it shorter, so it's totally customizable to what you like. I really hope y'all enjoy this one, and if you do, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and I would love it if you could subscribe for more, and let's go ahead and get sewing. You'll need about 2 yards of a lightweight, stretchy fabric so that the cover-up is easy to get on and off and has that light, airy effect, and you'll also need enough 1/4-inch thick elastic to wrap around your chest. Begin by holding your fabric up however you want the pattern to go on your cover-up if you have a pattern, but you'll need to make sure that the fabric will stretch this way so that it's easy to take on and off. Wrap the fabric around your back, then bring one side around you so that the edge of the fabric hits right underneath your underarm. Wrap the other side around you and use a straight pin to mark where the fabric hits under that underarm, which shows where you'll need to cut the fabric to create the cover-up. Lay the fabric onto your work surface and find the point that you marked with the pin on the top edge. Cut straight down from that point where you placed the pin all the way down to the bottom edge of your fabric. Although I couldn't fit this part on camera, to decide how long to cut the fabric, wrap it back around you, decide where you want the cover-up to end, and place a pin 1.5 inches lower than that for seam allowance. I wanted my cover-up to end at my heel, so I placed the pin 1.5 inches lower than my heel. Cut straight across the fabric, starting where you placed that pin, and this will create the bottom edge of your cover-up. Once you hem it and add the elastic at the top, it'll be the length you wanted. At this point, you should have a large rectangle where this distance is where you wrap the fabric around you from underarm to underarm, and this distance is your desired length plus 1.5 inches. I've zoomed in here to the bottom edge of the fabric so that we can hem it. Make sure your fabric is laying with the wrong side facing up and fold the bottom edge over about 1/4 inch once. Then fold it over again another 1/4 inch and pin it into place. Repeat this process by double folding the next few inches twice 1/4 inch at a time, pinning, and continuing along the entire bottom edge until the whole thing has been double folded and pinned into place. Sew along the bottom edge with a ballpoint needle to secure the hem, and always remember to backstitch whenever you start and stop sewing. You can use any stitch you'd like for this because the hems won't need to be stretched at all. I used a regular straight stitch, but if you find that the hem doesn't lay flat enough with a straight stitch, you could use a wider zigzag or decorative looking stitch, which will flatten out the hem better. When you reach the end, the bottom edge has been neatly hemmed. Now you'll need to head to one of the sides of your fabric to hem it as well. Make sure the wrong side of the fabric is facing up and fold over the raw edge twice 1/4 inch at a time and pin it into place just like before. Continue double folding and pinning all the way up that entire side of fabric and sew to secure the hem. Next, you'll need to go to the opposite side of your fabric and repeat that entire process of double folding and pinning along that side, and then sewing the hem down here as well. Bring the fabric back around your back so that the correct side of the fabric is facing outward just like you'd wear it, and you'll see that both sides are hemmed, but we've left the top edge completely raw and untouched for now. Wrap both sides of fabric back in toward your underarms, just like you did in the beginning, and pin the edges in place to secure them. You'll then want to sew just a couple of stitches on each side where you pin the fabrics, which will tack them down and keep the fabric in place. So carefully remove the cover up, sew those couple of stitches right near the top edge, and here you can see the stitches I sewed, which secures the cover up and will make the next step easier. Turn the cover up inside out so that we can create a casing for our elastic to go through around the top edge. Fold the top edge over a 1/2 inch once, then fold it over again another 1/2 inch and pin it into place. And when you're working on the front side where the fabrics overlap, make sure you're folding both layers of fabric over together. Continue folding the top edge over twice a 1/2 inch at a time, repeating this process around the other side of the cover up until the entire top edge has been double folded and pinned into place. Sew around the top to create the casing, but make sure to leave a couple inch gap unsewn to feed your elastic through, and you'll need to sew right near the edge that's been folded and pinned where I'm pointing to so that you leave enough room for your 1/4 inch elastic to fit through. It's very important that you sew this step with either a stretch stitch or a zigzag stitch so that the top edge of your cover-up will be able to stretch around you without breaking the seams, because a regular straight stitch would break when stretched. Remember to stop sewing and leave that gap when you get back around near where you started sewing. And as you can see here, by using a stretch stitch, the seam stretches with the fabric. Wrap your elastic around your chest, stretching it slightly as you do so, and pin it together to make sure it's comfortable and secure enough to be able to hold your cover up around you. Remove the pin, make a mark at the amount you need, then cut it about a 1/2 inch larger than that mark for seam allowance. Hook a safety pin on one end and find the opening you left in the stitches on the top edge of the cover-up. Push the safety pin through that opening and feed the elastic through the casing, but be careful so that you don't twist the elastic at all. When you pull it back out, unhook the safety pin and lay the two ends of elastic on top of each other, then sew back and forth several times with a zigzag stitch to secure them. Now you just need to pull on the fabric to get the elastic to lay completely flat inside the casing, so to close up the opening, and adjust the fabric so that it's gathered around the top edge evenly, and you're all done with this basic, easy to sew cover up. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye! Oh, hot, hot deck.